How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to an episode here on Let's Build Twitter. As always, I'm Ethan, or unknown coder, your favorite underqualified senior software engineer. And as always, if you guys do want access to the private repository for this project, there's a link in the description down below that'll walk you through exactly how to gain access to that. Now, that being said, let's go and hop into what we're working on today. Today, we're going to go ahead and continue working on the ability to edit our images. If we go ahead and hop into Twitter, I'll show you what we're actually going to be working on. So over on X/Twitter, you can see that whenever we have a post media, it's going to go ahead and pop up as crop media instead of edit media. And on the top, there's these little tabs you can click on, as well as on the bottom, you can go ahead and click on these and zoom in and out and do everything else that we were able to do last time. Now, the thing is, this is a little bit special, so this takes a little bit of logic, and then also need to update our modals so that we can have like a bottomless version. So we're going to have to make a lot of work. We're going to go ahead and start working on this today. We're not going to be able to probably get all of it done. We'll just see what we get to. Targeting about 30 minutes as always. With that being said, let's go ahead and get to work, hop into code, and see what we can get done here. We need to first start out here inside of our EditMediaSlice, and we need to go and add some state. So first, I'm going to go ahead and underneath of our image coordinates, I'm going to go ahead and make an interface, and I'm just going to go ahead and call this modal target. And actually, I'm going to say type, export type modal target, and we're going to go ahead and replace the way that we have this set up. So inside of our modal target, we're going to go ahead and of course have our edit profile dash picture. We're going to go ahead and add in edit underscore banner underscore picture, so like we had before, but we need to add a couple of new ones. If I could type, now we're going to go ahead and add edit underscore post underscore image. Okay, and actually I say picture here, picture maybe. And then we also are going to want to go ahead and add edit underscore post underscore gif. It's going to need to do a little bit different. And honestly, I think we can get rid of edit post gif. I'm just going to keep it here because we have it, but we might be able to get rid of it. We're going to add descriptions. That's going to be one of the tabs. And then we're also going to go ahead and have flag, maybe, I can't type, underscore content, which is another one of those top bar description things, and then nothing. So now instead of having target be this, we're going to go and throw modal target in here. And again, we might get rid of edit post gif. We'll see. Now we have our modal target, maybe like so. That looks good. And then underneath modal target, we're going to go ahead and add a new piece here. This is going to be post image index. This could have went on the bottom. It is what it is. Question mark, and this will be a number. And that's going to be able to allow us to know which one we clicked on later on. Okay, and we're going to add a new interface in here. Interface, and this is going to go ahead and be called update dimension. And I hope I spelled that right. Dimensions action. This is so we can update how big, wide, tall, whatever you want to say. We want it because it can switch in between different aspect ratios. So it's going to go ahead and be our preview width. This will be a number. We'll go ahead and have our preview height, which is a number, and then we'll have our target target width, which is a number, and target height, which is a number. So this is just going to allow us to update whenever we switch aspect ratios. How big do we want this to end up being? Now we need to go ahead and deal with our EditMediaSlice, which we don't actually, I guess, because everything else is fine. Because we have our target, which is nothing, our editing state, and our post image index is optional. So I guess we don't have to mess with the initial state. Now we're going to go ahead and update a couple of reducers. So let's come to the bottom here. I'm going to put it above reset state. It's probably not where it goes, but it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and say update and target. And this isn't exactly where I had it, but it doesn't really matter. So update target's going to take in our state, and our action will be a payload action of type modal target. Here, this will just allow us to update this more easily without just canceling or finishing editing. Here, we're going to return state, and then we're going to have a target, target, is action dot payload. Okay, and then we're also going to go ahead and comma, and we'll go ahead and say update dimensions, like so. Here's take a state, an action, which is a payload action, And then inside of our payload action, we're going to go ahead and have an update dimensions. Dimensions action like so. And let's go ahead and add a comma so it stops complaining. Here once again, return. And we're going to go ahead and say ... state. We probably could have like went ... action.payload, but it is what it is. Preview width is going to be action.payload. Preview width. Our preview, height, if I could type, it's going to be action.payload. Preview height. And then we're going to have our target width, which is going to be action.payload. Target width. And we're going to go ahead and have our target, target height. Target type, which would be action.payload. Target height. And that'll go ahead and do that since we're returning it. Now let's just go ahead and come to the bottom here and return these. This is getting pretty long. We might need to go ahead and start wrapping it below, but we'll have our update target and our update dimensions. Save that up, and that should be everything we need for now to start updating this. And again, like we said, we'll see how far we get here, but there's going to be some rewrites of some of our components, which is not going to be very fun. So we might not get too many components done, but we'll just see. So now let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to work on next. So here on the top, we need to go ahead and make some changes so that one, we can change this guy up so we can have this whole thing be taller. And we also need to be able to click between these, change this, so on and so forth. And then also, I didn't get this done. This allows you to click through these, so we need to go ahead and figure out that at some point as well. Like I mentioned, we're not going to get this all the way done in this episode nor next. There's still a lot of work to do that I haven't got planned yet, so I'll figure that out. But now let's go ahead and figure out how to get this top bar working. Now the first thing we need to do this is hop into the bottomless modal.css and make it so the top bar is fake content. We've already done this with the other one. So we're going to go ahead and come down to about line 32, which should be the top, and then underneath the height, we're going to go ahead and, or actually, I guess we'll go above the height. We're going to go ahead and say height is fit content, fit-content. I don't know why I said we're going to go above it. We already have it. Now we can go ahead and hop into our top now. Inside of our edit media modal top, now we're going to have a lot of work to do. So first thing we're going to do is we need to make an interface for some props. So interface, edit, media, modal, top, props. And then here we're going to go ahead and have our top caption. This is going to be determined by some other content. So we're going to do that inside the modal itself. And then update top caption. Again, this is going to be done by the modal itself. So we're going to go ahead and pass that in as well. Let's go ahead and bring these in. And I don't know what's wrong with this. I don't think I need to put it inside there. Interface, I spelled interface wrong. Okay, now what's the problem? Okay, it's just being slow. Cool, so now let's go ahead and bring this in here. So now we'll have our edits, media modal top props, and then we'll go ahead and break apart our top caption, maybe, as well as our update top caption. My goodness. And now let's go ahead and do this. Now things are going to be broken because we haven't passed this, but that's fine. Next, let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit. And it says about line 59. So below here, we're going to make a new function. And here we're going to go ahead and say const select modal tab is going to be equal to an e react.mouse event. And this is going to be on an HTML div element like so. And then let's go and do our error function. And here we're going to say e.stop propagation. That way nothing funky happens. And then let's go ahead and do this. So if our e.current target and then .id is going to be equal to crop, then we're going to go ahead and set this up to say update top caption. And this is going to go ahead and be, crop media. And then we're also going to go ahead and dispatch, dispatch. And if this is the case, we're going to dispatch update target like so. Make sure this comes from EditMediaSlice, and here we're going to go ahead and be edit post picture. Next, we're going to say if our e.current target dot, and then here we're going to have id is equal to alt. So here we're going to say update top caption, and then this one is going to be edit image description. I did these in a slightly different order. It's fine. We're going to dispatch We're going to go ahead and dispatch update targets, and then update target. We're going to go ahead and say add underscore descriptions, like so. And then finally, we'll have one more if re.current_target.id is equal to warning. And then here we're going to go ahead and update top caption. We're going to go ahead and update the top caption to content warning. That's what it is on Twitter. And then here we're going to go ahead and dispatch. We're going to go ahead and dispatch our update target. And in here, we're going to go ahead and update it to flag_content. So that'll go ahead and switch between our different tops. Now we need to go ahead and say const is active. And this will go ahead and help us out here. And active string, because whenever it's active, it's going to have a blue line below it. So we're going to say return active is equal to top caption. And I think we need to go ahead and create, no, we don't need to create active because we're going to pass it in. Let's go and fix that, and that should be good. So now this is set up for our state and everything. Now we need to go through and basically rebuild this entire thing. And I think I literally am going to go ahead and just rebuild it. That'll be the easiest way to deal with this. That way we don't miss anything. So let's go ahead and just go through here. Arrow back and stuff is probably okay to keep. So maybe I'll just go ahead and come in here and let's see, because where's the arrow back? We are going to have another div class name equal to, and this is going to be edit-media modal top, and then input-section. And then it seems like inside the input section, we're going to go ahead and have our top and title. We're going to go ahead and have our arrow back and then our H3. So let's go ahead and grab this guy and then throw it in here. That way we're at least not redoing that. Df that to make it look pretty. And I think we're also going to go ahead and have our apply button in there. So let's go ahead and grab that as well. And we're going to have to do some refactoring to make it work, but it is what it is. So that should be our input section, I believe. And then below our input section, we're going to go ahead and add another set of curly braces. And we're going to go ahead and say target is equal to, and here it's going to be post_picture. And there's probably a better way to do this. Or target is equal to, and here we'll have add_descriptions. And then we'll say or target is equal to, and then we'll say flag_contents. I guess we could have just done not equal to one of the two banner things, or the profile picture or banner, but it is what it is. It's a little bit late now. And then target is equal to edit_, and then post_gif. And then we're going to go ahead and throw an and here. And then we're going to go ahead and have the next part. So the selector, this part's kind of gross, but we'll see if we can make it work. So here we're going to have a div with a class name on it equal to, and this is going to be edit-media, maybe, and then dash modal top selector. And then inside of our selector, we're going to go ahead and do some more checks. We're going to have curly braces, and we're going to make sure target's not equal to edit. Post gif target, I don't know why I said it that weird, but not equal to edit_post_gif. If this is the case, we're not going to be able to see the edit media, so we want to go and hide that. So as long as it's not this, we're going to go ahead and show div, and then the ID is going to be equal to crop. We're going to have a class name, and the class name is pretty long, so that's why we broke this up. Backticks $curly brace, or curly braces, backticks edit dash media dash modal, maybe dash top dash tab. I think I've done these tabs in like a million different ways. A $curly brace is active, active, and then we're going to go ahead and pass in our crop media. And then here we'll have our question mark. If that's the case, we'll go ahead and have our edit dash media dash modal dash top dash tab dash active. And then otherwise it'll be an empty string. We won't have anything. That looks good to go. On click, it's going to go ahead and equal to select modal tab. And then we'll go ahead and close this guy out. And we need to probably end up bringing in a couple of GIFs here or SVGs. That's fine. But we are going to bring in crop from our material UI, and SX will equal to, we'll have a height on here of 20px. We'll have a width on here of 20px, and it's just going to be black, so we're not going to change anything. Close that guy out, and that is good to go. So that's what we're going to go ahead and have here. It looks like we have an extra div going on here. Oh, it's because we're going to go ahead and also do a curly brace here. Is active once again. If it is active, we're going to go ahead and pass in crop media. And then we're gonna have a div, div, like a type, the class name equal to edit dash media modal top dash tab dash underline. Again, we've done this a million different ways, and then that's just going to be that. So here I must have spelled something wrong. Target equal to this. What's the issue is condition will always return true. How? If target is equal to this or that, it shouldn't always return true. So I broke something here. I'm not sure why this one is mad, because this one shouldn't always be true. We'll deal with this in a second. Now what we basically need to do is after this, we just need to take this div to this div right here, copy it, and then we need to just go ahead and paste it below here. So now we'll go ahead and paste in this guy. Just going to do this. But now instead of crop, we're going to go ahead and put in alt. Instead of crop media inside of is active, we're going to go ahead and pass in our edit image description. Description. It'll be the same. And then here, instead of crop media, this is going to go ahead and be edit image description again. Edit image description, and then here that should be good. And now we need to go ahead and do one more. Also, we don't want crop here. We're going to want, it's just going to say alt. So let's just go ahead and delete this crop guy, and we'll go ahead and throw alt in there like that. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and copy paste this guy one more time. So copy him, let's go ahead and paste it in. And I messed something up. I don't know what I messed up. Let's see here. I don't know what I didn't copy, but let's try again. Copy him again. I think I went one too far maybe, or did I not do this? Let's see here. Oh, I went too far. So let's make sure we don't go too far this time. Copy this guy, and then let's go ahead and come in here and then paste it in, make it look pretty. So now instead of alt, we're going to go ahead and have warning. And then again, inside of is active, we're going to go ahead and put content warning. Let's go ahead and clean this up. Content warning. And then under here is active, we also need content warning. Let's go ahead and throw this content and warning. And then here we need a flag SVG. So let's go ahead and grab that, I'm assuming next, or we might style it next, I'm not sure. Yep, so let's go ahead and grab the flag SVG. I'll show you guys where to get that, but first let's open up the Explorer. We'll figure out why it's saying target equal to edit post picture. It's going to always be true. It shouldn't be, because there's also profile picture and whatever else. So obviously there's more options than this, but let's go into our components, SVGs, hit A, and then we're going to go ahead and call this flag SVG. .tsx, hop in here, and then we're going to go ahead and import our SVG props from our global interfaces, and then let's go ahead and export default function flag SVG, and then we can go ahead and do one of these, and we'll have our props, which are SVG props. And then let's go ahead and set up a return, and I'll show you all where to get this. So here on Twitter, let's go ahead and open up our inspect window, and here it's going to be this guy. So let's just copy this SVG. So copy element, hop back in here, paste it in. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit, and I'll be right back. We've gone in. Let's go ahead and get rid of this class that we are not going to need. And then inside here, let's go ahead and say height, is equal to props.height. Go ahead and say width is equal to props.width, and then in here we're going to go ahead and say fill is equal to props.color question mark props .color. Otherwise we're just going to go ahead and say pound 000 for a black color. Now let's hop back in and add in that flag SVG. Now we'll go ahead and delete this guy. We can go ahead and bring in the flag SVG like so. And then here we'll say height, is equal to 20. We'll say our width is equal to 20. And then we'll say color is equal to is active. There we go. And then we'll pass in our maybe is active content and warning like so. And we'll say question mark. If that's the case, we'll say black. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and say pound 657786, and we're going to set up some of that color a little bit later on as well inside of our CSS. So that looks good. So now I'm still not sure why this is mad. Let me copy paste exactly from GitHub and see if I like edited something wrong or copied in something wrong. Because yeah, it is not happy with us. So that's also because we're missing this. This condition will always return false, because modal target and edit post picture have no overlap. So that means I typoed something inside of our modal slice maybe. So let's see, in our modal slice, our edit image slice. So let's see if I just straight up typoed here. So we have our modal target, edit post picture. Yep, I spelled picture wrong. Now let's hop back in there and see if it's fixed. There we go. So I just typoed, that's good to go. Now let's go ahead and set up some CSS. I'm not sure how much farther we're going to get today. Maybe just getting this top component inside of our modal, because we are getting pretty short on time here. Not super short, but we're going to be starting to get to wrap up time. So let's just see what we get. Let's hop to the CSS for our top component here and see what we can get done. So now I need to make some changes. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to get rid of the flex options here. So we're going to get rid of all this. I think we're also going to get rid of the padding. And then now this top is going to go ahead and be fit dash content. Fit content. And the width is still going to be 100%. So that part is fine. And then next we need to come over here to our medium modal top apply button. And I guess I just typoed something here. I'm not sure why I have this guy. We already had it. Cursor pointer, background color, RGBA. So I must have maybe thought I missed it, or I just copied too high. But now we're going to go ahead and set up edit media modal top selector, and then in here we're going to go ahead and have a width 100%, and hopefully I haven't typoed anything in here or forgot to bring anything over. Our height is going to be fit dash content, and then we're going to go ahead and have display a flex and a justify content. We're going to go ahead and space evenly. After this, we're going to go ahead and have align items in the center. So it's going to be our selection area. Then we have our edit dash media modal dash top, and then dash tab. Inside of our tab, we'll have a width of 33%. This might change, or might have to change into like flex grow or flex stretch, whatever, but we'll deal with it. Position is going to be relative. We're going to go ahead and have a padding of 20 px and then 0. And then we're going to have a margin, margin on the bottom of just like 1 px, just a tiny little margin. Display flex this so we can center things. Justify content in the center and align items in the center. And then finally, we're going to have a color, a pound 657786. So the default color is going to go ahead and be that, but we're also going to have like an active one, which will change the color in. We'll have a dot edit, edit dash media modal top, and then we'll have a tab colon hover, and then here we're just going to go ahead and say cursor pointer, and then a background dash color. And this is going to go ahead and be RGBA of 0,0,0.1. Now we need to go ahead and say edit dash maybe dot edit dash media modal top tag, and then this one's going to be active. Here we're just going to go ahead and say color is black, black instead of our dark gray color. Then we're going to have our dot maybe dot edit dash modal dash top dash tab, and then dash underline like a type. And then here we're just going to go ahead and have a width of 56 px, because this is what Twitter uses. It's just like a fixed width. height is going to be 4px, and then position is going to be absolute in here. The position is going to be bottom of 0, and it'll kind of center itself here. A background dash color of our Twitter blue, so pound 1D, a 1, F2, and a border, border of none. And then we're also going to go ahead and have a border dash radius of about half the height here of 2px to make it look rounded like a pill. So that is everything I have in my notes. Now I feel like I missed something, but we'll see if everything looks okay, because like we don't really have a padding anymore, so I'm a little bit worried about padding, but we'll just see how everything kind of looks here. Now, if I need to go in and look at the GitHub, we can go ahead and take a look at the GitHub. So now to wrap it up, let's go and hop into the edit media modal and put this stuff in place. And then next episode we'll see how far we can get with putting it all together. So let's hop into our edit media modal. Inside of our edit media modal, we need to go ahead and make a couple updates. We're going to go ahead and bring in the post image index, image index. I'm not sure if we're going to use it this episode, but it is what it is. And then we're also going to go ahead and bring in our const and images and gif, from equal to use selector, and this is going to be state root state. And here we're going to go ahead and pass in our state dot post v2, and then let's go ahead and also set up a state for our top caption. So here we say const top caption and set top caption, and here we're going to go equal to use state. Let's go and bring in our use state. This will be a string. And then here, this is going to go ahead and start out as crop media like that. That looks fine. And then now we need to go ahead and set up some other stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and go below here. And we're going to go ahead and say const update top content. And here, this should actually probably be top caption, not content, caption. And then here we'll have a caption. And this is what we're going to pass in later on. Caption of string. And do one of these. And here we're just going to go ahead and say set top caption to whatever caption gets bringed in. So caption like so. And now we need to set up a new use effect that watches our target. So use effect, use effect like so. And here, like I mentioned, this is going to go ahead and watch our target. So pass in our target. And then here we're going to say if our target is equal to add descriptions, then we're going to go ahead and say set top caption to our maybe edit image descriptions. And then if our target is equal to, and here we're going to go ahead and say edit banner picture, or our target is equal to edit profile picture, then it's going to say edit media, so set top caption. I don't know why they made it different. I don't understand the rhyme or reason behind anything Twitter does. We're going to go and set that up. Now we need to go ahead and make some big changes to our modal itself. So we're going to go ahead and set up a set of fragments here. And then now we're going to go ahead and check to see some curly braces here, and we're going to check top caption. You probably should check target here, but it is what it is. If top caption is equal to crop media, or our top caption is equal to edit media. Again, target probably would have been better, but again, it's too late. I've already made the decision to do this. So if it's going to be crop media, we're going to go ahead and have, let's see here, modal, and then our top content is going to equal to edit media modal top. Our top caption, will equal to, and this is going to be top caption. And then if I could type maybe top caption, and then our update top caption will be equal to update top caption. I forgot to actually make this a component, so let me go ahead and put our opening brace there, and then we'll go ahead and throw our closing brace, and then we'll have our content, which will be equal to our image editor, and then finally we'll have our bottom content is equal, and then here we'll go ahead and say edit media modal controls, which are going to get an update next episode. And then otherwise we're going to have a bottomless modal, the bottomless modal, and then here our top bar will be equal to, once again, our edit media modal controls. Our top caption will equal to top caption. That's not controls. We don't want it to be controls. We want to edit media modal top. My bad. And then our top update top caption will be update top caption, like so. And then here our content, we're just going to go ahead and set a fragment that says more fun to be had, because we need to go ahead and set all of that up. That's going to be our adding our warnings, adding that stuff, adding descriptions, things like that. So that should in theory be good to go. Let's go and hop into the front end, see what's broken, and try to wrap up this episode here. Okay, so we broke something, of course. Let me refresh. It's because I typoed the edit profile picture. So let's go back into the edit media modal top and try to fix that. So now up here we have a typo. So let's make sure we actually spell picture properly now. So picture should stop being mad. Now let's check it out. Now we can refresh. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to hide my screen / blur my screen so I can grab an image. Now if we click edit, we haven't actually, I guess, set it out to be able to click this, or we have an error. I'm not sure. Let's take a look here. What is going on here? Console. So clicking on it is not working. Let's see if, I don't think add description is going to work either. No, so I wonder what's going on with our edit image. I thought we had this fixed. So edit, feed post creator, image edits. Let me go ahead and take a look at this really quick so we can open up the edit image modal. So whenever we click on edit, we have our get dimensions, get image. Is our edit not doing anything? On click edit image. Okay, edit image. Oh, we never actually set up our dispatch. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. I don't know why I forgot to do this, but we'll have an image, and then our target will be edit post image, I believe. The only thing here is it could technically be, whoops, I don't know why that made it mad. Let's try again. Edit post. Oh, you know what? It's because we need to fill out a whole bunch of stuff. We need more than just configure modal. That's why it's mad at us, I think. So I don't think this is actually working right now. We can see, but I don't think it's working. Okay, so let me pull up the code for this. I don't know how this got missed. This is going to be another long one, unfortunately. So let's just go ahead and throw everything in here. Image, our target is going to be equal to edit post picture. And then we'll go ahead and have editing state. We'll go ahead and be editing. And then we'll have our preview height, we'll have our preview width, and then we'll have our target height is equal to height of our target width equal to width, and then finally our zoom level will equal to 0. We're going to have our coordinates equal to starting x will be 0, starting y will be 0. We'll go ahead and have our final height of height and our final width of width, and then finally we'll go ahead and pass in our post image index will be the index, and then go ahead and save that. Why is this broken? We have preview width, preview height. I don't know why this is broken. Let's see. Cannot find width or height. No, width and height definitely exist. Did I put this outside of edit image? I think I put this outside of here. Go ahead and do that. Okay, that looks better. Go ahead and get rid of this. Save that. I don't know how this got missed, but a lot of stuff sometimes gets missed whenever I'm copying and pasting and doing stuff. So let's try again. If this one doesn't work, I'm gonna go ahead and debug off screen because I need to go ahead and get working on the next episode. But let's just go ahead and see. Give it a refresh. Let me go ahead and open up an image. Let's see if edit works now. There we go. So now you can see this I was worried about. So we are missing some stuff here. Next episode, I will look into what's going on with this, but we should be able to click on these. That one shouldn't have changed. So something is going up on with that. And also this is not quite working. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out what's going on with this. I think I just missed some CSS and stuff. So I will look into that. But if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Everything helps out here on the YouTube algorithm. If you do want to see where we start from absolute scratch to get to the point right now, there's a playlist in the description or over here that'll go ahead and do that. So as always, y'all, this has been Ethan or Unknown Coder. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.